So now I'm going to talk about how to get rid of a restraining order if you are in the unfortunate situation where there is one that has been granted against you. The best way to get rid of a restraining order is to never have one in the first place. Nevertheless, if you're in a situation where there's a restraining order in your name, I can understand the reasons why you would want to get rid of it. Like if you watch the other videos, it's nationwide. It comes up on background checks. It can affect jobs, employment. It can affect licensing for anything from real estate to selling insurance to being a nurse or, being practicing law or medicine, things like that, right? And so, and also it can stop you from having firearm or and other weapons. So the motivation for getting rid of a restraining order are well understood, right? However, as the reasons why the restraining order are put in place in the first place are also the reasons why they're very difficult to get rid of. Remember from the other video about about a permanent restraining order, there are two requirements in order for the restraining order to be granted by the judge. Number one is there must have been a predicate act, that is an act of domestic violence under that as classified under the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act in New Jersey, which was passed in 1991, also known as the Domestic Violence Act, right? So there must have been an act that that law says is domestic violence. Number one, that's called a predicate act. Number two, in order to have a restraining order, there must be concern or fear that if the restraining order is not granted, the act of domestic violence will continue into the future, right? So these two elements, there's nothing you can do about the first one, which is that there was a predicate act of domestic violence. That's done. However, the second one continues into the future, and that is, how are you going to be able to show the judge that you are no longer, going to commit this act of domestic violence? That the fear that absent a restraining order, you're not going to keep doing it, no longer exists. It's very difficult for the court to see that, to show that to the court. Because, you can argue and say, well, I haven't called her, I haven't texted her, or I haven't called him, or I haven't seen him, I haven't been by him in, who knows, 2 or 3 years. Well, of course you haven't, because the restraining order says not to. Who's to say that once the order is lifted, you're not going to go back to the old behavior? So it can be very, very difficult to convince the court to remove the restraining order. By the way, if you want to get the restraining order removed from your name, what you need to do is file a motion to vacate. That is the legal term for what you need to do, is a motion to vacate, right? Motion simply means you're submitting your papers to the court, you back it up with evidence and things like that, and you ask the court for what you need, okay? I would not advise doing a DIY approach on these things on legal practice because it can be dangerous. But let's say the person is dead, right? The person that had the restraining order put in place, let's say she passed away from, who knows, or he passed away, from accident, old age, who knows, right? In that case, it's an easy one for the court to see that, well, the threat no longer exists, the person is no longer here, so that's not difficult to show, right? However, whereas the person is still alive, probably living in the same area, how does the judge see that? It can be very difficult. I've had cases, this comes down to the creativity, the ingenuity, the skill, and the experience of the attorney that's handling this, right? There was once upon a time I was consulted on a particular case where the person was telling me that they went to do it themselves. Again, the reason why I tell people, don't do DIY with these things. The person went to do it themselves, and the judge looked at him and said, if you want me to vacate this restraining order, right, you have to get some kind of a testimony or an affidavit from the individual that came to court and got the restraining order against you in the first place. This was after a few years, 8 years had passed. And so this person came to me and said, I charged it myself. it didn't work, and that's it can help me out. I said, it's always best to just get an attorney and let it be handled properly the first time. But here's a challenge I think that the judge was posing to him. The restraining order says do not contact this person, don't call, don't text, don't go near them, their home, their jobs, their family, things like that. And here's the judge saying that I am not going to vacate this restraining order unless the victim comes to court and tells me that they no longer feel threatened by, of you doing the things you did that caused her to come and get a restraining order. How is a person supposed to secure such a testimony or some kind of affidavit, right, when you're not supposed to contact the victim? Because the restraining order says don't contact them. So there's really a catch-22, right? The way you handle that is you contact an attorney who can help you to navigate these challenges, right? Present your case to the court and use their experience, their skill, their ingenuity, right, to help to solve the problem. It's never easy, but I've never seen a restraining order lifted without the help of an attorney. Now, if you're facing this kind of situation, I strongly advise you to contact us at Modular Law. Again, this is attorney Adi Modular from Modular Law, and I am looking forward to solving your legal problem. Hello, this is attorney Adi Modular from Modular Law, located right here in Jersey City, New Jersey. I have been practicing for over 14 years. I cover the areas of litigation, domestic violence, restraining orders, DUIs, driving under the influence, and also immigration. You can search a Modular Law into your favorite search engine. Just enter OMOJOLA space LAW. And it'll pull up our website, locations, and other information by which you can contact us. Again, this is attorney Ade Omojola from Omojola Law, and I am looking forward to solving your legal problem.